Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all time in the regular season. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time when it comes to the postseason. Hello, everyone. Today I'm here with some of my thoughts on Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I bring them up because they are two of the most famous quarterbacks. I actually had a video, check that on my channel, why I think in the future Mahomes will be considered the greatest quarterback of all time. But as of right now, as it stands, I'm going to give you my personal views on the matter. Peyton Manning. He played for two teams, the Denver Broncos, the Indianapolis Colts. He has 2 Super Bowls to his name. He beat the Chicago Bears, and then his last game, he beat the Carolina Panthers. And then Tom Brady. We know who he is and his greatness. 7 Super Bowls and also 10 Super Bowl appearances. Probably will never be broken. An insane record to carry. But the reason I say Peyton Manning is a better quarterback from the regular season perspective is because Peyton Manning has a total of 5 MVPs. He won in 2003, 2004, 2008, 2009, and the last time he won was in 2013 when he's with the Denver Broncos. Tom Brady, on the contrary, has 3 MVPs. This is for the regular season, the cumulative year. So the regular season alone is the season MVP that I'm talking about here. Tom Brady has only 3 compared to Manning's 5. Tom Brady won in 2007, 2010, and 2017. He's got 3 MVPs compared to 5. But now, on the flip side of the coin, Tom Brady in the postseason has the most wins of all time in the postseason. Manning is quite behind. Manning's lost 2 Super Bowls. Brady has lost 3, but he's been to way more. Manning's only been to 4 Super Bowls, while Tom Brady's obviously been to 10. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, Manning, 2. The math alone, the quantitative doesn't matter. Just the idea of the Super Bowls, the championships, whatnot, gives you that ideal. Now, this is a fun fact, though, that people don't keep in mind, is that Peyton Manning in the AFC Championship against Tom Brady is 3-1 over Tom Brady, while Tom Brady is 1-3 when he faces Manning in the AFC Championship games. That's something to keep in mind. But overall, when you look at it from the standpoint of Super Bowls, wins, Tom Brady is the greatest. You know, I alluded this to my video. Again, if you want to check it out, it's the Michael Jordan, or rather, forgive me, Patrick Mahomes =, Michael Jordan. He's equal to Michael Jordan. If you want to check that video out, make sure you do. I said specifically that Tom Brady is Bill Russell because of the championships he's collected. Bill Russell had 11 NBA championships. Tom Brady, 7, and he's going to go for more, obviously, with this season. But, you know, there's an argument to be made with Manning and Brady. You know, especially the argument I made in that video, and I will continue to make in this video, is that Tom Brady had a better team collectively around him, especially his first couple seasons. He didn't really start to become a more dynamic quarterback, more of a rather system quarterback to a more of a, you know, a quarterback that's not necessarily a system, but the contrary to that. A quarterback that can throw downfield and consistently. Brady really became that, you know, later in his career, especially in 2007 when he threw for 50 touchdown passes. That's another thing. That's another argument to be made with Manning and Brady. Just to throw this in there. Peyton Manning, in his greatest season of all time, the greatest statistical season of all time of any quarterback, Peyton Manning threw for 5,477 yards and 56 touchdowns. While Tom Brady in 2007, his greatest season ever, in the regular season, only threw for 4,806 yards and 50 touchdowns. So the greatest regular season ever, Peyton Manning had it, and Tom Brady was well behind. So that alone gives you an idea of who performed better in the regular season. But obviously in the postseason, as I've just explained to you all, we know who wins that one. Brady with 7 Super Bowls, with the most passing yards of all time in the playoffs, with the most touching down passes of all time, more than Peyton Manning. His numbers speak for themselves. But as I alluded to, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, when it comes to the argument between them about, who was better, I would say the circumstances for Brady were better. That's one thing that I think a lot of people take out of the equation. Brady had defenses. Brady had running games. Peyton Manning he had a good defense, but he didn't have the great defense, especially in Tom Brady's early years. Manning didn't have that. Tom Brady did. Tom Brady had those defenses. Tom Brady had Teddy Bruschi, Ty Law, Willis McGahee, all those guys. Charlie Weiss was the defensive coordinator, a very, esteemed defensive coordinator. Romeo Crennel was a great defense, a very highest, put on a high pedestal, high esteemed defensive coordinator. He had that, and that's that old saying, great defenses win championships, or rather, defenses win championships is the saying. That's the difference. Manning didn't have that. Manning had, the Colts were a high-powered juggernaut offense. The Patriots were more defensive oriented, especially in the early years. So Tom Brady from 2001 to 2004 won 3 Super Bowls. And a lot of that was because he had a stellar defense. A stellar defense and a very solid running game. Tom Brady was put in a position where, hey, don't lose the game. Just play in with with the confines of the playbook. Let the defense do the job. That was the difference. And that's where Peyton Manning, to me, that point alone outpaced. Because people forget in 2004, he threw for 49 touchdowns. People forget that. So even, in the early career, Brady was winning more titles, winning more postseason games. But in the, early in the careers, and even as it progressed, Peyton Manning was racking up numbers, better numbers than Brady, more yards, and more regular season success. So that's the difference. Obviously, in my humble opinion, Tom Brady is definitely the greatest of all time. I think that will change. You OGs out there on this channel, you know what I'm talking about. But that's just kind of my 2 cents on the matter. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time postseason. Peyton Manning, regular season. Thank you, everyone.